Hey guys, here the short or long, I don't know, video about some very interesting specific paths, hiking paths to Tusheti, which I think many people would really enjoy and would inspire a lot of people to better visions and things and so on. So it's less known, I would say, not known at all. Horse path, which starts in Pankisi Gorge, next to a small village, Zibachevi, and goes up to Batana, village Batana, and from there goes along the ridge of high mountainous ridge all the time to 2,900 meters high from sea level, then goes again down to some 2,100 meters, and then you have to climb up again 800 meters to Sahorne Pass, and from Sahorne Pass you just go to town Alaznistavi and you are already into Tusheti. Alaznistavi is the one of the most secluded parts of Tusheti, from the most famous, renowned, so to say, the Birikiti Gorge, the less known Kometari Gorge, and the least known is Alaznistavi because it's the furthest part of Tusheti, and also there is no car road actually, and it's when you start it from Abano Pass, so you just drive up to Tusheti, you just go to Janchakhovani Gorge and then Omalo, and from Omalo you just make it to, most tourists make it to Dartlo, never to Kometari Gorge. It's a shame because Kometari Gorge is really one of the most beautiful gorges in Tusheti, and some of the tourists make it over Atsunta Pass, but 1% of tourists have set their foot on Borbalo Pass, which is actually on that way from Alaznistavi or from Pankisi. You can go to over Borbalo Pass to Khevsureti or Pshavi. So, but we aren't talking now about the possibilities in Pirikiti Gorge or Kometari Gorge or the 3,000 Abano Pass drive up, the most dangerous road in Tusheti. Well, that all can sound really good, but it's already becoming slowly creeping to mainstream tourism. So anyway, it's not the Tusheti I knew 10 years ago. It's quite a difference. So if you are really if you really like hiking, if you really want to set foot on some special paths, see really gorgeous landscapes, and experience one-on-one, face-to-face journey with nature, and go over many obstacles and have unforgettable experiences, just try it. Walk up on foot to Tusheti, and from there, from Alaznistavi, you can either choose to go through Kometari Gorge and up to Ortsgali Gorge to Abano Pass, or just you can expand your experience and see the rest of Tusheti. Just start from Alisgori, then there is near, somewhere over the river, there is Verkhovani, and from Verkhovani you can go up the Aicho Pass, which is not denoted here, but you can see it in any map, and go down to Pirikiti Valley, and from Pirikiti Valley you just go along or you can just drive back to Omalo, and you then just see everything Omalo, Pirikiti Valley, also Kometari Valley, and also that infamous, the most dangerous road in the world, one of the most dangerous roads in the world. So it's an option, and in that way you really experience an array of the full package of Tusheti, and it's quite beautiful. But the most beautiful part for me anyway is this Iron Mountain Chain Path, which I actually do every year and it's always amazing and it's always different. Um, so I'm now describing the possibilities how you can just hike up. The good news is that we've marked the path with blue marks like the normal marking system, because the Czech Development Agency had been doing this uh, uh, marking project in Tusheti for the last 3 years, and I was part of it because I worked with them. So I just thought, why can I not take the knowledge I got from them and put it there on my favorite path? So I did it. So that's why it's now marked, and you can easily find your way. It's not easy when you are going up to to a totally barren mountain landscape or all around cliffs, and you can't quite see the difference or find the path. It's not so easy. So when it's marked, it's a lot easier and safer also. So if you want to hike up to Tusheti on foot on quite a spectacular, secluded, marvelous path to Tusheti ever, you have to start in Akhmeta. And from Akhmeta you just take a taxi and drive to Pankisi Gorge, to a small village Zibachevi. And from Zibachevi you just go over the bridge, and there to the left you turn to Tbatana. The car road goes up to Tbatana, but that road is really bad. So drivers actually charge the same amount of money if you want to go up on that long road to Tusheti, although this road is quite smaller, less than half of the distance of Tusheti road. But drivers charge the same because they say they don't have passengers from Tbatana down, so they charge you for both ways. So if you don't have so much money, that costs 200 lari. Just hike up through the beautiful woods. It's not a difficult hike. It's going up all the time, but it's not difficult. And by the evening you're in Tbatana, and the next day you will start your hike up to the Iron Road. So from Tbatana, from the village, there is already a sign. Then you make a small shortcut to the very small lakes. There are some lakes which are very small. They are actually ponds. And when you go up to that last one, the biggest one, the pond, the road goes to the right, and it's also marked, so it's no problem to see it. You just go up, and from there the whole path goes up and up to Sakisto mountain. When you are it's already 2,500 meters, and when you are up there you have the last chance to fill in your bottles with water, because your path goes through two small mountain tops, and there a little bit down on the from the meadow, several meters down, there is water spring, and you have to fill in your bottles there, because then you don't have any possibility to have any water until the Masara mountain, which is quite away. So as you see, the road goes up very high to 1,500, 2,600, 700, 900. So, and you are always along the ridge. That gives you spectacular scenery, really breathtaking experience, but it also can be challenging because there is no place, not many places or much space to spend the night. So if you are an easy walker and you don't really aspire to walk the whole distance in one day from Tbatana to Ziplovana Gorge, then you can take it easy and just spend night. If you are a very easy one, somewhere near Sakisto spring, or if you're medium easy, that's on the pass, actually, because it's the highest part of the pass, from which the pass just falls down and down to Masara mountain. First from Bungatkola, the pass really falls down, then it takes a little bit elevation. Then when you reach Masara mountain, it's a big, hospitable, green, grassy mountain. You just go around it and then you're there. When you go around it, then you're there. There is a small place with shepherds hut, and there is water, and from there you can spend night. So you can spend night in Masara or on the pass, or somewhere near Sakisto, because there is space. In between there is no space at all to spend some night, so that's not a good idea. Also, please look at the weather forecast, because of the high altitude there are frequent and violent thunderstorms with hail, and it's quite terrible. So you just make sure that in the period you are going to walk here there is no hail or thunderstorm, because it can be deadly actually. So the problem here is that from that part the road goes when you go to the first elevation of Sakisto mountain, there the path runs actually it doesn't go for a while, it doesn't go up, it just runs along the grassy mountain slope, and then you come to a point from where you have beautiful, gorgeous views over that gorge, over this gorge, over the Sakisto top, and from there you have to choose to go right, because there is a well-trodden shepherd path which leads you to Sakoiskori, which is not a right direction, but you should go to the right, and there you can see only the fragments of paths which is not so good readable. But you should keep to the right and go right to the bottom of that mountain, and on the bottom you see the blue marks, and you know you are on the right track, and you just go straight up and up all the time. Okay, from Masara, that's Masara mountain, the path runs down to Tsiplovana gorge, which is quite a creepy gorge because it's very narrow, very dark. From both sides you see only the slopes of the mountains which hover over you like towers, and there is on that slope there is forest, and the forest is full of bears. So but you can, good news, you can make fire, and so the bears don't attack you. That's no way, because it hasn't happened yet during that time of the year, summer, August, July. But anyway, and from Tsiplovana, so in Tsiplovana you can spend a night. We usually do it so. There is very little space, but still on the part of the road from where the path begins up, we spend there the night, because the next day we just pick up our things and start this big elevation of Sakordi mountain, which is not quite so easy because it's 800 meters but stretched to 3 kilometers of steady and hard going up. So when you go up and want to go to Alasnistavi, you just from somehow in the middle of a little bit up from the middle of the mountain, there the pass part, one goes straight up and it keeps to Borbalo direction, and one goes to the right and it keeps to the Alasnistavi pass. When you are on the pass, you see the sign, you see some signpost which is already unreadable, it's damaged, but it actually should say that from here begin the boundaries of the Tusheti National Park, and from that a little bit down, 2 steps down from that signpost, begins the pass to Alasnistavi. But the pass becomes a little bit undecipherable when you reach those grassy mountain slopes, which are massive actually, and which lead directly to Alasnistavi shepherd hut. And when there is good weather, you see the hut and you just see the direction. When there is a little bit smoke. No, no. Okay, I forgot it. When there is not bad visibility because of clouds, you just should know that when you reach that, when there is no path running anymore, so decipherable, and you reach those grassy, massive slopes, you just go down to the slopes and not go to the right and on the other slope. Okay, from Alasnistawi, it becomes easier because you have shepherds, you have people to ask for the road, and it always runs along the river. There is some part when the path goes up, and that path goes up to Tsovata Gorge. Don't follow that path, just know you should keep always along the river if you want to go Koklata. The second very high elevation is from the last hut, shepherd hut of Alasnistawi, over the bridge and up a very steep slope. And that part from that last hut to Koklata is quite long. It takes 8 hours actually, and it's quite very long and very tiresome. But anyway, it's beautiful. And when you are already in Koklata, you just follow the path to Aliskori and you're in Gometsari. So from there, it's up to you if you choose to follow the car road and see all the Gometsari villages, see Omalo and drive down to the valley of Kaheti, or you just go along our path and hike to the Abano Pass. So if you want to hike to Abano Pass, just don't follow the main road to Gometsari, but just turn direction Iliurta, because there is a signpost put within that project of Czech Development Agency, and it tells that car road goes up to Iliurta. So follow it. From Iliurta there is no car road, there is only path, which leads to Vestomta. That path is beautiful through the woods. And in Vestomta there is a beautiful home stay with beautiful people. That's the Karsamauli guest house. The owners are the Karsamauli. So you can spend a night there, spend one day there, just gaining strength for a final hike up. And then you start early in the morning at 6 down to Vestmo, around this round mountain, which is quite beautiful, and then to the last shepherd hut, where you can ask actually for the direction to Ortsgali Pass. And when you start from there, you can't really lose your track because it always goes up. That gorge is really very small, narrow, actually isolated from both sides with high cliffs, and you can't really lose your track. But there is the possibility that when you are up on the top, there can be low visibility because of clouds. So when you are up on the cloud, you should go to the left. The scenery to the left is quite hopeless because of much cliffs, but it's the right way. Then the last time I made a mistake because I thought the path to the right was better because it was broader and nicer, but it's actually a mistake. Well, maybe it's not a mistake, but it's an old shepherd path which goes along parallel to the main car road and then joins it somewhere there, but it's already old, not without not renovated, so it can be quite challenging, and also there is no place actually to spend night. So we went down because of my mistakes and went up and proceeded to the left on that cliffy slope, and very soon you are there on the car road. You should follow actually people from Gometsari bring their cattle and sheep over that pass because it's quite nearer than going to Malo, and then bringing it. That's a quite big circle, and you just cut the road that way, and so you see past cut from the cattle, and you just follow it, and in a minute you are down on the road, and from there you can either hike or take or hitchhike or just find, if some drivers are driving down, they can take you some for fees, some just for free, I don't know. So it's tourism in Tusheti, so it's getting not so, they are getting less and less generous actually. So it's a possibility that they take you for free or 50-50, I don't know. It depends on people you meet. So, or as I said, you can make the Nagaicho pass, it's already marked, you won't lose your way. So, I'm actually trying to popularize that pass because it's so beautiful and it has so much, it brings so much energy and it's so gorgeous, but very few people go up there because the foreigners don't have information. The Georgians don't like such a big challenge. They just like, light jeep trips up to Tusheti. So, and one big, I don't have to ask that, but please be very careful with your garbage because it's a very delicate mountains landscape there, and you shouldn't leave any garbage there. Just take everything with you. The last time we were there, it was quite littered and it was terrible. So I know I don't have to say it with you guys, but anyway. So I wish you a really happy journey if you decide to hike up there, and I wish you safe hike to Tusheti and many, many beautiful experiences. If you have some questions, please comment below and I'll answer to all your questions. And you also can find this map and description and GPS coordinates on the WordPress account of my previous work, the Protected Landscape of Tusheti. The heading of the article is the Western Gate of Tusheti, and something else, but if you put just Western Gate of Tusheti, it already pops up. So thank you for your attention and thank you for your hike up, and bye bye. I wish you everything good.